Should be much, didn't she? Sorry for the little bit of hold up. Had to fix some things. I think. Just do test run real quick. Then hit up the. Oh, goodness. I wonder where I'd want to go to roll. I want to get. Oh, okay. Viruses, super spousal screen snap to a really weird location. Okay. So, as of right now, we got some resin to use. Gonna have to use that for the domain, which is all the way over here. Okay. Alright. Do test run and then just get right to rolling. Sound good. Gaming. Gaming. Hello. It's doing test run. Glad you showed up. Do this and then we'll get to related things. How are you? Living? Probably. Maybe. It's cool how they gave him Serpent Spine even in test run. It really is just undoubtedly his best weapon option. Yay! Not dead Talion. Impressive, really. Okay. And, okay. Get another there and get this started. Thanks. Thank you. And that's right. Don't have Xianyun, so I'm not getting auto plunges. Kinda forgot a bit. Oops. And one more. Very, very nice. Oh, the Xianyun Beast, but we don't have any Hydro. Oh, if we had somehow managed to beat them faster, we would have been able to take that, but yeah, whatever. Keep on hitting, and that didn't hit a darn person. Thank you. Hit, and come on. Hit. How did that miss? You're kidding. Cringe tracking. You know, I'm glad I have an actual decent gumming when I actually use him, even though I haven't in a while. That missed too? Okay. But he's on the banner, which means I should get some cons soon, I hope. What? You're kidding. You are actually kidding. Die. So clunky. He's so clunky. Okay. Let's keep on moving. Next trial stage is Chevy. Yeah, but Chevy, Iansan, and Bennett, Gumming, are the ones on the banner. None of whom I have it C6 yet, so really no matter who I pick up, it should be good, which I'm rather excited for, actually. Okay, let's put you down and get that going. Overcharge ball, and let's get that going. Thanks. Bit silly, but and it's somewhat bad. Thing is, we do have Chevy doing Chevy things, and that's down, so perfect. Oh, but you actually have silly. Oh my goodness, Kid in cross spear makes things tough. Come on, and oh well, we didn't actually send Chevy in because I'm dumb. Okay, but Iansan, Varesa, Mavuika, and Chevy is apparently a certain individual's best team, which is to say Varesa. So I'm going to be excited to be able to run that, hopefully, with a few more Chevy cons. Let's see how they run her. Pick up some of this Dracolite. So basically, we're going to roll, do dailies, locate the domain, locate the boss, and then just collect specialties, see how much I can do. And we're an Atocpan. It sends elemental skill. Night Soul's Blessing statement with Swift runs out of Night Soul points, while the Night Soul's Blessing holding Sprint will cause her to switch to Rushing Thunderbolt mode, temporarily increasing her movement speed. She has insufficient Night Soul points. She will consume focus to maintain this state. Kinetic energy scale, you move around. Boost the buff. Okay, whatever. Storage amount quickly attained. And elemental orbs. Gotta figure out how rotation really works. Providing phlogiston and that's big. I believe that over there should be the actual place. And she's using Fav. Interesting. It's an option to actually... Tame Yorate is probably better for her. She's got scroll and... Oh, this is... Yeah, Gaming works well with her because, he moves up and down. It counts vertical movement for 2. Which is nice. Let's check. Thunderbolt. Okay, there's no hold, so... That's fast. Ooh, nice. That's fun. Terrain to make flying leaps. Let me just check. Alright. Charge that phlogiston back up. I'm gonna try our movement. Oh, that didn't quite work. Ooh, nice. Remnants of Tetanako. Okay. See how this all ends up going. See a bit of this place too. This might be where the boss is actually, but we can't check the actual map at the moment. Unfortunately, they gave him Serpent Spawn again. You know, works well, but fair enough. Okay. And sapwood, fun. Let's just run. And that's gameplay. Pulverite. Rocks containing phlogiston that are rejected from the volcano's crater during a volcanic eruption. Struck with the right means, they can be shattered. Okay, so you have to be actively in a charging state, which will close off after a little bit, and then you can break right through to the other side. That's fun. This is really fun. Okay, I like that. It's got a dash. Opponents defeated 12, so we broke through, collected orbs, etc. Iansan, Bennett. Let's sell points. Levels of power, less than 15. Let's figure out how to make this work best. Bennett. Okay, and kinetic energy scale, and thanks. Well, you're here now. Thank you, and and who's next? It's you. Nice. Okay. And okay, let's take the rest of you out. Or how many of you are going to be left? And Iansan again, son. And Hillitrol Ranger. I wonder how far it'll let me go. Okay, nice. Big damage. Trying out or weave the stage. Let's try that. How much farther will it let me go into here? Because it's probably going to be boss arena for the new boss, right? Or no, it just takes you back to the Collective of Plenty. Yeah, how much farther is going to let her go? Not complaining, but I can see Thunderbolt Ruts deplete when she essentially loses her charging state. Okay, that's fun. Go on to Xianyun. That's going to be a lot simpler. Okay. Cloud Druid's modification state, whatever. Gotta be. Time that lasts is ET 16, 15. So actually, since you don't have any cons, you don't get duration increase, which makes that 15 same as. Okay, interesting. Number you hit, and thank you, and didn't quite work. Thanks, and well, we should be hitting until. How do the rain swords just miss entirely? That is very silly. Okay. Oh, but that's right, we could be still jumping. Right. Okay. Dragon Strike is never bad. Thanks. Roll that. And take it. And now we got the second. Good. Thanks. And thank you. And slam, 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 slam it. Well, that didn't quite work. Okay, well, thanks, I suppose. Ah, and here's an avatar of lava. Okay. It didn't quite work as he has sacrificial. Have the right timing for this. Okay. And normal plunge. And here we are. Yeah, it's going to be fun to try to use Godling in a serious context. Strength, Serenity, Varesa. Okay. Metal skill, charge attacks, cycle of skills, charge attacks, plunging attacks, maxes out through plunging attack, acquired passion state, enhances all her skills. Electro damage. Max out. Fire passion state. Increase damage. Passion state or skill cooldown. Unleash 1. Special elemental burst. Costs less energy. Attack Night Soul Wind. AoE electro damage. Sudden onrush. Not Thunderbolt rush. Special. Okay. Provide Phlogiston. Oh, but we're out of Phlogiston because of... Right, because we use it up, and the bar is actually shared between Trials and mid-game. Oh, she has a Sonic Spin Dash. That's funny. Doesn't get to say spinning while she's jumping, though, unfortunately. Sit. Charge. Nice. Fun. And is that Apex Drive? Thank you. Night Soul points. Oh, she's got Vivid Notions up. Interesting. Thanks. Ah, full one. Maybe I didn't quite want that. There we go. That's down for the special burst. Okay. Interesting. Well, kind of wasted that. Let's just retry that to get the energy back. Okay. Check out that weapon. Yeah. Plunging attack, Dawn Pursuit, Twilight Splendor, skill or burst. So, let me check. So, pink is Dawn's Pursuit. White Splendor is the blue one. There we go. Jump. Okay, cool. Interesting. Right, we can run on water. Right. Collected 5, defeat 7. And that Ring of Speed, a Ring of Light, special elemental power, the origin of which is unknown. Passing through the Tatanka source, the tribe's people, the collective plenty will be stimulated by the energy within, causing them to enter a second sprint. Oops. Well. So allow me to... we gotta stay in the rush state. That didn't quite work. Okay. Okay. You just gotta keep spamming dash, otherwise we're gonna fall through. Oops. Okay, that did not have us drop down, interestingly enough. Okay. Chevy. Oh, and you're taking so much electro charge to damage. That's funny. Okay, get in the right spot. Okay, come on, get over here. Ouch. And okay. Oh my goodness. That didn't quite work, huh? Okay. And let's... okay, we gotta blast with that for the first time. And I'm begging, please. Thanks. I didn't quite work, I suppose. Okay, cool. And special hit and Apex Drive. Thanks. Hit and punch. Smack. Nice. I may be a little too tired to use it right. It's basically every other one. That's when you get the Apex Drive available. And oh, the enemies eventually respawn. I don't quite want that. Just collect and then roll. Fun. Executor Justice, Tempered Molten Stone, Dracolite, formed gradually in areas rich in phlogiston. These red scale-like crystals are blazing hot to the touch. Now we got this stuff already. Sky Split Gem Bloom. A strange plant whose flowers exterior resembles stone. Only in bloom does it reveal a resplendent crystal-like core. Okay. So here we are. Run Varus's artifact domain a little, I suppose. Then. Yeah, we'll just roll. Fun. So in that case... We got... How much? 20 or so more would get me to... That's whatever. 169. I mean, 162. So unless I were to get comically unlucky, and we might, should be able to pick her up. See what happens. Right now we're at 0 pity on event character banner. Pull that up. Let me see something. Okay. To fix sun, and yeah, we are at 0 again. So let's make this happen. Here we are, let's get right to it. It's 10. And just how far in we gotta go. And there's a Gaming constellation. I like it. That's the one that gives him energy, which is nice. Cool. 1, 2. 20. What are we gonna get? A Fab Sword, and yeah, not bad, but not amazing. And when you go on the item page, it takes you off of, oh, okay. Puts you back in the world for the sake of music. Chevy. Dragon's Bane, okay. Get a 40. Just give me at least one Iansan, please. Another Gaming. Okay. Go 50. At least one. A Layla? Oh, and a Chevy. Nice. But no Iansan. Huh. 60. Okay. Chevy, and oh, that's C7 effectively. Give me one Iansan, please. Don't want to have to chase too much. See whether we win 50-50. Another Chevy. Okay, 71. You know, the upside of losing 50-50 would mean being able to go in for more Iansan cons. More Iansans. Depending on how many we get or don't. And 73. $74. Uh-oh. 75. Uh-oh. This could be bad. 76. Uh-oh. 77. And let's see if this is 50-50. And no Iansan. Huh. Interesting. I kind of want to go in for one singular Iansan. That would run the risk of getting either Xianyun or Varesa C1 though. And I'm not sure how I would feel about that. Okay. 27. Realize that in my documentation, Mizuki is known as Mizuka. I was really sleepy that day. At 77 today. And yeah, that's the question of the day, essentially. You know, out of Xianyun and Varesa, who would I be less opposed to getting a C1 for potentially? Oh my goodness. I mean, not bad. That ain't bad, I suppose. Just see, it's her. Lots and lots of food. That triple job, rainbow crash, by your passion state or not, makes you free. Sudden onrush. Oh, that's right, we did get a Waypoint. This is decent. Okay. Yeah, that's a couple of these. That's the energy restoration, which is the big one. Little daunting roar. Then got these. That's a C6 of Chevy. It's really big for that team. But it's more damage, and what does Xianyun C1 even do for her? Just in case. I mean, that's more energy, I guess, but I honestly feel like I have to alternate between them. Because it's not, neither is bad by any means, but it just, you know how it is. I want to get at least one Iansan. I mean, C0 is perfectly fine, but this may be a very bad decision. 10. Just give me a Iansan, I swear. Chevy? What? Hello. I got Varesa and no Iansan, so guess who's rolling a bit to chase? This is going to be a really bad idea. I'm alternating between banners because I don't know which one I prefer. This may be actually really dumb. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Swear to what? C6 Gomming and no Iansan. You're kidding. I got C6 Chevy and C6 Gomming today. Not a single Iansan. Yeah, it's good to see you. Fischl? You're kidding. Chevy again? The Russ R4 is not bad. Okay. 40. Stocks are getting depleted. Okay. Just want a Iansan, please. 1. Chevy? The bell! What? Oh. 50. Okay. Finally, I'm free! I'm free. You didn't. I was having weird luck beforehand. So we're free. We're free. C6 Chevy and C6 Gomming. I'm happy about that, actually. That's really nice. But now we're at 50. Which, the question is, Escoffier, who's the chef girl who stole Aoife's 5-star slot, is next patch. And she's actually pretty interesting, because she has a lot of purely exclusive food that you basically make with a parametric transformer. But, I mean, I got Varesa winning 50-50. I'm not complaining. The question is whether they put Aoife on the same banner as Effie, Escoffier, Coffee, whatever people want to call her. And then once that happens, the question is essentially whether I will, you know, get an Aoife if they're on the same banner. Barbara? Whatever. Okay. Well, we have them both, and that's the important thing. And we didn't get a C1 that I might not have really cared to chase. That's a lot of star glitter. That's good. Yeah, nothing was really wasted, and that's the important thing. For a second, I was rather worried, so... No, I cannot afford to do that. There's someone new next patch. My priority is getting every character C0. The only character whose weapon I got was Mavuika because she has special weapon bling. You know, no one else gets this little flame. And also because she's stupidly overpowered, but... This is the main thing. And the nice thing is that I don't have the... We gotta go hunting for materials now. So... I actually... She's so cute. You know, I'm glad she's good, even if she is just a 4-star. So, it's a Cinder City set. Amber's been holding it. She is picking up Tamayurate as soon as possible. And Varesa uses a Wid Sith at C0. Yeah, believe me, I'd love to have everyone's weapon, but I'm not made of money. Surprise you, maybe. We also have Gaming C6 now, which is nice. I wasn't expecting to get basically all Chevys, all Gamings, then a Layla, Fischl, Barbara, and then just one measly Iansan. It is what it is, but it was a very surprising result, and this is a good one. This is basically her weapon. It doesn't really give the team energy, but the team doesn't really need energy, so we're going to live with what we've got. So... I guess I'm gonna go to Atocpan and try to get their specialties. So now the party I'm gonna use for dailies right now would be, well, Mizuki's got to stay until she gets her Friendship 10, but level you two clowns a little bit. Okay. Varesa. Nightsoul is, as an Obsidian Codex, the Nightsoul set is, amusingly enough, actually about as good for her as... Oh, goodness. About as good for her as the new Plunge set. The big thing, though, is that in theory, the Plunge set scales better, in some ways at least. If you're not running Earth Arena, which is not... Running Earth Arena isn't optional. It's good, but it's not optional. The Plunge set gives a huge amount of damage bonus, which isn't great if you're Earth Arena, but Nightsoul gives a bunch of crit rate, which is very easy to overcap on. Let's scrounge together. I'm going to steal somebody's... Yeah, we're going to steal the stuff that... Pyro Traveler stole this from Kinich. Understandable, I don't blame you. It can really go either way. She doesn't really need energy recharge. It's nice to have, but it's not a necessity. Just going to let that sit for now. And I actually used Pyro Traveler a good deal last past cycle, because Pyro Traveler is made specifically to fight Gisoithoth in Shiokowaddle's form, and that's it. Yeah, if you don't have Shionen's a much better value pearl. Varus is a gimmick. Fun character, and like I said, I go for everyone, but definitely a gimmick. And Diluc, Pyrotrab has his cup. Pyrotrab is Naki again. Okay, and Kinich. His stuff is currently being taken by Varesa. So this is a passable set for now while I get a plunge set scrounged together, and... Do I have a goblet I can just plug and play? Not really. I take this cryo damage goblet for the energy recharge. It doesn't matter right now, but at least nobody's holding it. Okay. Can level both of you up a teensy tiny bit. What you witnessed on my Kinich is that his Obsidian Codex set, as in everything except the goblet, Pyrotrav borrowed it so Pyrotrav could have an Obsidian set to use against the weekly boss. Because I had to level Lanyan and Mizuki's Friendship last patch. That meant putting them in every single fight I could put them in. And they suck against most weekly bosses because they are animo characters with grouping, or at least they're AoE focused. And, you know, Gisoithoth is one enemy. So I basically put in Pyrotrav and Zhongli as the two people actually doing stuff on that team, and just slowly whittled it down, because Pyrotraveler's kit is literally made to fight the weekly boss and nobody else. It's stronger against the weekly boss, and it sucks in pretty much every other situation, so... Let us... Oh, and that's right, we need to put them in the teapot, too. Let's do that as well. He hasn't been new for a while. One of the abysses shortly. One of the upcoming abysses is going to be a dedicated Kinich abyss. So you have that to look forward to. I'm excited to use him again too, but as of right now, the focus has been on other characters. Yeah, the thing about it is, Xianyun's not really useful for him, because she can't exactly shred Dendro. For him, his team right now is... I run him with Dehya, Bennett, and Emilie, and that's still about the best. If you want to make a Kinich team good, really, Emilie is his dedicated sub-DPS. If you don't want to run him, you don't want to run him, but that's how you're meant to do it. And, oh, they changed the screen. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I actually like the old one better. That's just contrarianism. Lots of furnishing blueprints for... Natlan sets. I bought this. I think we can just get these now and hold off on buying artifact juices next week. Come on. Yeah, because now we can actually collect people's... characters' teapot rewards, but I actually need to set up Natlan teapot, really. And, that... I guess it's time to read off a bunch of descriptions of furniture. Prepare yourself to hear my dulcet tones for 2 minutes straight. Guardian Pillar, innumerable sparks, towering high within the stadium of... Yeah, Xianyun and Furina and Nuviet's great, but actually what I'd say is if you want that team to be specifically good, well, if you're Satwali, you can't exactly get her anymore. But it's looking to be that Chef Girl, Satwali, Furina, and Nuviet is going to be the best new Nuviet team as of next patch when she comes out. She's basically Freeze Chevy, which is interesting. High within the stadium of the Sacred Flame, these slender stone pillars are adorned with intricate serrated patterns. The most numerous and versatile type of pillar in the stadium, they stand as symbols of all the people of Natlan. The foundation of Natlan's endurance rests upon the shoulders of its diligent and endearing denizens. Like countless sparks uniting as one, they blaze together to form the mighty flame of Natlan that we see today. Apparently also, we're getting a new world boss next patch too. They're adding a tiny piece southwest of the volcano. Some people think is probably a lead into the Marajavari eventually. Just basically as an arena for the boss, which is a little kind of like when they added Golden House in 1.1, which I actually wasn't around for. Or kind of with Baiju's house in 3.6, but they also added real map portions with Girdle of the Sands there, so it's not really the same thing. Guardian Pillar, exalted heroes, massive uniformly shaped stone pillars that are adorned with fine metal embellishments. So we found above the entrances to the various major zones within the stadium of the Sacred Flame, stand as symbols of the countless heroes of Natlan's past, as depicted on the so-called Wall of Despair. And would that be the Capitano bas-relief? It's by the valiant efforts of the heroes that Natlan's path was carved, opening up the way forward for the generations to come. May all be inspired by their great deeds, and the young ones follow courageously in their footsteps. There was a recent dubious leak, and if you don't want to hear leaks, that's fine, about a character who's coming out maybe in 6.0. Not this patch cycle, but in the next patch cycle, which again would presumably be Node Cry, not Seznai, but a sort of long extended Seznai prolong with a bit of Seznai, but not Seznai proper. It's very, very interesting. It's kind of foreshadowed, but it's very surprising and cool. Very simple sales strategy, low table, constructed from a flammable wood frame and ashen Artiku wood boards. Though unremarkable as tables go, they are cheap and simple to manufacture, making them the go-to choice among merchants in the stadium of the Sacred Flame seeking temporary display shelves. Apparently some shopkeepers will even choose their tables over other options, with the simple reason that their plain design better sets off the splendor of more ornate merchandise. But Varus' character trailer, you can see the chef girl from the back. What was leaked about her for a while was basically that she looks like Asuna from SAO, and it is more or less true. The hair is exactly the same. Furina, she's got good off-field hydro, but the damage buff she does would not be doing much for that team for anyone other than, I suppose, Xingqiao. I want to run a Kaveh team. Kaveh is actually going to be one of the lead characters in Imaginary Theater this patch, so I am going to try to build him this patch too. But you'd really be wanting to run it with Nilo if you have Nilo, though, of course, if you don't have Nilo, can't be helped. Then probably, Nahida, and yeah, I like Kaveh too. What I mean is that you'd want to run Kave with Nilu. For the simple reason that... The other thing is that Kave really shouldn't be the one triggering the blooms. Because it's very, very hard to get as many blooms as you would with applying Hydro to Dendro as Dendro and Hydro, because Dendro consumes Hydro at double compared to how much Hydro consumes Dendro. Because so when you want to run a bloom team, what you want is to apply a bunch of Dendro and enough Hydro to create more blooms. I understand. This is a long-term project. You know, it could work, especially in theater where requirements are a bit more lax to compensate for the horizontal investment requirement. We're speaking solely in hypotheticals, don't worry. Stone bed, peaceful sleep. And maybe I need to start just wiring money. Your secret benefactor so you can run the teams you like. Stone bed, peaceful sleep, a single bed made from stone fountain, the Stadium, the sacred flame. At first glance, you might think such a heavy bed would be hard and uncomfortable to sleep on, thanks to the plush wool-filled mattress and skin-friendly hand-woven bedding. Actual sleeping experience is surprisingly comfortable. It's said that after a night's sleep on this bed, even the most fatigued of traveling merchants will wake up rejuvenated, bring with energy, feeling as though they had been blessed by the Wayup. I really like saying blessed instead of blessed. It's maybe a little bit antiquated, or at least British, but it sounds nicer to me. Top of this bed incorporates clever storage functionalities. The more syllables, the better, you know. Its hollow frame allowing users to stash valuables beneath the mattress, ensuring that they remain safe without disrupting their owner's quality of sleep. The sense of security, perhaps, is another secret on the bed's seemingly miraculous revitalizing properties. Among other things, they actually added 5 new local legends this patch, despite only adding 2 new areas. So it's a bit disproportionate compared to last patch cycle, where they had 3 areas but only 6, because it's, instead of being 2 per area, it's 2.5 per area. Well, technically, actually, since technically it's 2 of these, it's 3 per area. Sure, an achievement, though, but I love the new local legends. They're a bit past a lot of people, but, you know, I don't like bragging, but I really love the challenge they have. You know, there's a reason I ground all these out, and I'm glad they... I was wondering for a minute, especially since normally they've got a bit of about a 2-to-3 ratio in terms of Night Soul Totem local legends versus open world local legends. And here you got these 4 in Night Soul Totems, these 2 in open world. There are only 2 Night Soul Totems left, I'm pretty sure, so they actually reversed the ratio a bit so they could have a decent amount of local legends this patch, even if there weren't many totems left in the Night Kingdom. Well, I don't know, maybe one of these is actually the big pillar in the middle that you see here. Well, not really the middle as much as top of the clock face, 12 o'clock, I'd say. Well, straight ahead if you want to go in, but so good. But again, they are beyond a lot of people, not to brag. It's sad. It's really a sort of a question of... It's definitely a bit of a challenge, but it is a challenge you can kind of pay to win, even if it is PvE and not PvP. Now, at least this game is not Honkai 3rd, where you have, to an extent, PvP, where you have to get better clear times and their abyss equivalent than other players. Various thoughts in order. A large, well-organized standing cabinet that can be found in the Stadium the Sacred Flame, made from common Natlan stone. It is divided into 3 different sections, large in size and simple in layout. It offers exceptionally organized storage and maintained by a dedicated attendant. However, it may be less practical for individuals who lack the time to manage it regularly. Of course, some will intentionally choose this type of cabinet as the process of thoroughly reorganizing its contents each time. It also serve as a mental exercise and opportunity to sort through one's thoughts and memories. Fair carpet, again. Pretty soon I'll be able to actually make the sets. Fair carpet, warmth and passion. A round carpet with a simple pattern made from high-quality wool, topped with warm-toned phlogiston-based pigments, which is, of course, is just normal graffiti and all paint and Natlan, featuring a centrally symmetrical design with a comforting warm orange hue. Orange being the color most commonly associated with phlogiston, the outer flames of fire and sunlight. Now, again, from the Archon Quest, the interesting thing about phlogiston is that it's not just fire. It's fire associated, but it's the primordial form of all elements. So ultimately, all elements would originate from fire to an extent, which is, again, it makes me think of Heraclitus, who, the Greek philosophers, and you might have heard of a guy named Thales, who's kind of a meme, because he believed that water was the origin of everything, which is maybe honestly to an extent truer than everyone else. They would think, you know, fire, water, air, earth, which is the origin of everything, and Thales thought it was water that became everything else, and in a weirder sort of way believed everything was ultimately water, and difference was simply illusion, but Heraclitus believed everything originated from fire, and that the essence of everything was change as a result, because unlike earth, water, and air, which are to an extent substances, fire is a chemical reaction, though of course they didn't really know that at the time. For this reason, such carpets are often placed in dining rooms or bedrooms to imbue these spaces with a sense of passion and warmth. Portable all-purpose grill, a simple lightweight clay barbecue grill equipped with a flammable wood stand. Thanks to its portability, it can be carried and set up by a single person. It is said that in the wars of the past, people discovered that ordinary campfires were insufficient to feed an entire camp of soldiers, often resulting in food being undercooked or burned. Fortunately, the advent of these portable clay grills has largely alleviated such issues. So what's interesting is that... So, Akefi, well, Escoffier, Akefi is sort of the Chinese transliteration, which was the only information we had originally. She can essentially make a parametric transformer equivalent of a grill. You hit it with elemental attacks, and it gives you special food that cannot be cooked in a normal cooking pot and no one else can make, which is a bit, I suppose, like the whole Castoris revival HSR fiasco. It's interesting, though, because she notably has a crit rate version of Adeptus' Temptation, in that it increases attack by the same amount and increases crit damage by 24%. Which is very interesting, especially because it's become pretty easy to overcap on crit. It is especially interesting in light of the fact that we've gotten a lot of very, very difficult whale bait limited time combat events that aren't Abyss, aren't Theater, where you can actually use food buffs. And I've used that to get some clears that otherwise wouldn't have, especially in the most recent one. The one with the name card, which I think a lot of people didn't get and I only barely got. It was stupid. And only because I had R1 Mavuika too. It's ridiculous. But I used Adeptus' Temptation near the end, and I actually built my Mavuika's crit rate to be around 88%, so I'd be able to have her eat an Adeptus' Temptation without overcapping on crit, without any of it going to waste. So I had food buffs in mind for this stuff. Kind of stupid, but... Woven hut, serene indigo. Hut made from a lightweight ashen aratiku wood frame, perfectly sized to accommodate a small stall that can be seen throughout Xianyun Fair. The fabric used for its awning has been specially dyed a deep indigo, chosen for its ability to extend the shelf life of perishable goods such as fruit and vegetables, making it ideal. Welcome back. For merchants selling such items, it is also said that indigo symbolizes tranquility and wisdom, which is why some artisans selling handmade jewelry also choose this type of hut. Java the Hut? Woven hut, rhythmic stripes. A hut made from a lightweight ashen aratiku wood frame, perfectly sized to accommodate a small stall, be seen throughout Xianyun Fair. As many musical lovers in Natlan, everything in life has a rhythm of its own, goods and stalls being no exception. The clearer and more tangible this rhythm, the more likely it is to capture their attention, thus win their favor. Some merchants, therefore, have attempted to dye their stall awnings with striped patterns in an attempt to take advantage of this phenomenon. In practice, however, most people's attention tends to focus on the goods themselves, and the rhythmic effect unnoticed. Or rhythm. Harmony of the spheres, I suppose. When I was younger, I used to pronounce spheres, S-P-H-E-R-E-S, as spears, S-P-E-A-R-S. A lot of people made fun of me. Glorious hues of the sacred flame. Only people who knew the difference, so not a lot of people, but they made fun of me. Type of open-air stall unique to Xianyun Fair, complete with moisture-resistant peach pulpwood furniture, vibrantly colored fabric awning, and this is right by the Adventurers Guild in the Stadium. And finely crafted metalworking skills, the renowned Phlogiston paint shop Frida's palette is a classic example of this design. Its most characteristic feature is the Phlogiston paint processing device in the stall's center, allowing customers to witness the transformation of raw materials to finished products firsthand, thus fostering a subconscious trust in the quality of the goods. However, this kind of setup also tests the owner's crafting and business skills, as managing production, storage, and sales on the same small space is no mean feat. Okay, so a few more crafting sessions will get pretty much everything. So we can get Varesa and Iansan at 40 now. Yeah! Actually, give me a second. Let me just check something real quick. The thing about Furina is... one, Golden Troop, and sometimes a runner with Fab Sword, especially if the rest of the team needs energy. Sometimes a runner with Flip Sandra, and that is also just a difference in raw energy recharge, about 15%, even disregarding the passive. But... she doesn't have a crazy amount of crit. But at base, I actually make sure she has about around 200 energy recharge. Because she does need a good amount. Because she doesn't front load her energy. I got pretty lucky with substats, to be honest. But you do want to make sure you've got a good amount of all that. And yeah, she's got a damage circlet. I might actually want to change that in the future. It's not a huge issue, but let me check something. And you should be... Come on. Right over here. Oh, my friend's ex... Okay. Right. And this is a good option, and... You do want to level the sword for the energy recharge, I will say, but... If artifacts aren't artifacting, I would honestly consider possibly... Let me check how many more substats you might end up getting. It's conservatively... expect. Honestly... I throw away any and all HP sands that don't have energy recharge substats, because any character who, to date, who's used HP scaling, has been pretty energy recharge hungry. I might consider putting on an energy recharge sands, and then you'd probably be able to get full Chandra on her without worrying about her own energy. The one thing I'd say, and especially if Fav really does help her just cause... Her own particle gen is not front-loaded, so it's very hard for her to battery herself. But depending on how you run things, you might actually want to use Nuve to battery her. Because depending on how your rotation's working, especially if you can slap down an E at the end of a rotation for her to pick up, which especially in Abyss or Theater when you're starting with max energy, that can help. Because the main thing is that he's already getting good energy from... her E while it's on field. Let me see. Let me check. Deathmatch is the best option, but you might actually want to use White Tassel. Thing about it is energy recharge is really kind of a wasted stat on her. She doesn't need ER. She generates enough particles. Really, unless you have her C6, her burst is only good for just a panic button if you're running low on health. But you really want to be running her with a shielder. That's what I'd say. Really, any shielder at all. It's Shangli or Sitwali's ideal, but even Layla will work if you have Layla. It's worth building Layla for Arl if you don't have other shielder options, because kind of like Huta, but even more so, she needs defense, but she can really only get that defense from shields. Yeah, kind of like with Sino, if you don't have something like Deathmatch or... Oh, the new polearm from Battle Pass. Battle of the Fjords. You would want... I don't know. Let me actually check the spreadsheet. Arlo weapons. Big thing is, like I said, it's not bad, but you want... Energy recharge isn't amazing on her. In terms of... Yeah, White Tassel is her best budget option. It's actually better than any non-Battle Pass 4-star option. It's better than Battle of the Fjords, even. In R5 White Tassel, Deathmatch is the best pure 4-star option. If you don't have Deathmatch, you just want to run White Tassel. Even though its base stats aren't amazing, the crit it gives is fantastic, and it buffs normals, and that's where all her damage is coming from. So... I will read this later. Yeah. A lot of 3-star weapons are better than you might expect. The big one, actually, is... Sigmund's best is Ravenbow. No one else really uses it. I guess maybe Yeoman if you want to be silly, but it's Ravenbow. Okay. I'll read that all later when I actually put the darn stat down. So in that case... You know what? Let's just try running these dailies right now with this not leveled team. See how that goes. Okay, for a second it was not responding, and I was worried. Okay. Oops. I may have made... To try to get a game to run, I installed some registry files I downloaded that would let me... Because base, actually, I can't access compatibility mode, which is a Windows thing that allows you to change some settings. But let me just see. We can get them to 40. It's probably also, at least in part, just... I need to delete some old VODs, to be honest. And I can't imagine that's helped. We can do this later, but as you can see, I did a lot of Iansan pre-farming. Proud of myself for that. See how well this girl works. Border. Okay. Here we are, and I believe we can... Not quite yet. Okay, so we need more stuff. Should be okay. And I am hoping... Let's... Oh, goodness. Yeah, that ain't got any range. Okay. I did not mean to do that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thanks. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you. It's got some limitations. That's for sure. Chisto! Fun combo, but yeah, it... Without Chevy on this team, it isn't amazing. Mavuika's here for... Oh, other stuff. Oh, and now we can get that going. Very nice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. The special burst. Nice. And that's the Apex Drive. That's alright. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Suzuki. And yeah, Iansan is not having any trouble getting any of that back. It's very nice. But the dash she does is really messing up transmission, which I don't like. Come on. Yeah, her lack of levels, and now she's just dead. I don't like that. Oops. Well. There may be some limitations to how much we can try running this. She's very dead racer right now, and I'm not happy about that. But yeah, I upgraded my power supply, and that's real nice. It's really helping things, but if I end up having some slowdown, it might honestly just be dust. It's definitely, at least in part, just dust. We'll see what happens. Oh, in... Which one? Because time of day does matter a bit. For some of those, I do know that. Okay. There may be some other conditions, but I'm pretty sure they only show up at night. And I don't want to be patronizing, but have you tried it at night? Yeah, if they're not showing up at night at all, it might be an issue. Honest to goodness, it might be worth doing a bug report if they just won't ever show up. It's getting 68 on standard. Oh, goodness. If they're just not showing, there might be a bug. There's a non-zero chance that the update might have broken something. Legitimately, it would be worth submitting a support ticket if it seems bad. Thank you, and that's the thing, I don't want to be running. Thank you, and thanks, Slam. Slam, slam, and slam. Okay, and yeah, she is not having energy issues, and yeah, that's the problem when you're not leveled. Oops. It's a fun kick. There we are. Oh. Okay. It's really going to be nice to actually get them leveled so they stop just dying. Okay. Yeah, next thing is going to be go around, just pick up as many of their specialties as I can in the volcano. And then I might honestly, depending on where things are, actually have to do some of the world quests. But we'll see how that goes. Thank you. Nice and fast. Iansan. Motto hayaku. There we go. That said, to really get up transmission, I probably want to not just run, not dash, I mean. Let's keep going. It's daily. But again, with Varesa, Iansan, and Mizuki in the party. Okay. Go to the boss, go to the daily, and specialties. And the question is just how many of them, and it doesn't say that there are any in Nameless Ancient Sacred Mountain at this point. So I wouldn't imagine that there are any that aren't immediately accessible on the world map. I think they probably made that decision to deliberately make it less annoying, because really, there hasn't been an instanced map with specialties, now that I think about it. Which is smart. Otherwise, it would get really, really annoying, but... There might be a few, because there are a few Songo Pearls in Enkanomiya, but not many of them. And Songo Pearls were introduced before Enkanomiya anyway, but... It's a question of how many of them are going to be accessible to pick up now. See how that goes. And now... Last one is motorbike for internal combustion charge. Fun. For right now, yeah, Iansan can level her artifacts slowly but surely. Again, Varesa is a set that does somewhat work for her now. Want a little bit more energy recharge. The target for the Mavuika Iansan... That might be Iansan with Fav, which is not what we have. Energy recharge target about 130 on that Chevy team, where Chevy would be holding Fav. That would be nice, especially since I have multiple Favs, but not too many. So, boost you up a little bit. Let's go for it. Do not believe she can. If it's only Kaholasaurs or Mavuika or Milani, but also Mavuika. Very nice. I do like that you can run the Spirit Ways, but it's honestly weirder that there are some Natlan interaction gimmicks that she can't do than if she'd be able to do all of them, because Furina had essentially the best Numa and Usia, with maybe the small exception of, Winnie being able to apply Numa from a distance with the same 6-second cooldown. Though it does require him to do the HP drain arrow, which can be a little annoying if you're just doing in-world stuff, but still. So, let us collect this. There we go. Okay. So I think this world quest is in with Hukiru is in connection with the collective, so let's get a bit of that. Hello. That's Traveler, please wait, here you are. Hey, do you need help with something? Not gonna quite. Just passing by the package for the two of you, and there was wondering how I track you down. Is this Waxaquaw and Ubakan in another guise again? It might be. Speak of the devil, make that devil's a package. Who's it from? It's had quite a journey. First turned up in the Adventurers Guild, then after changing hands many times, Pono got picked up by the signs of the Cannabis couriers. Considering Nalan's recent state of affairs, normal caravans haven't been up and running for a while. The sender didn't leave their name on the package, but judging by the signature, it seems to be from Fontaine. Oh, or... Seems like you've got friends all the way in Fontaine, huh? Receive with thanks, or it'll take that off your hands then. So is that a lie, or is this maybe Escoffier foreshadowing? Today's work sure was off to a great start. No sooner do I get the passage than I run to its recipient. Praise be the Pyro Archon. Right, I'm gonna go get more deliveries done. Have a good day. Yeah, good luck with your work. Alright. From Fontaine High, he called it a package, but it's so small. Looks more like a letter to Paimon. Let's open it and see. Oh, commemorative photo. Okay, that's cute. That's just... the photo that we took at the start of Natlan's Archon Quest. To Traveler in Palm, it's been a while since you left Fontaine for Natlan. How have your travels been going? Word on the street says that they held a very special pilgrimage this time. We'll have to apply for a foreign press pass to come over and give you this photo too. The Speaker's Chamber rejected the Steambird's applications. Guess the pilgrimage was just that special, huh? Anyway, we wound up getting Catherine and the Adventurers Guild to pass it on to you. With any luck, you'll receive it in time, and it wouldn't hurt for you to drop by Fontaine from time to time either. Next patch, I believe we're essentially getting a restaurant version of last patch cycle's potions event in Fontaine. I'm sure everyone would be glad to have you, your faithful friend Charlotte. It's from Charlotte's photo we took when we were leaving Fontaine. Hasn't been that long since we took the photo, but it sure feels like forever. Let's keep this photo someplace safe. That's fun. Parting is the beginning of a new reunion. Parting. Let's see. Picture gifted you by Charlotte depicting a group photo with your friends from Fontaine before your departure to Natlan. To your friends, when not separation brings sorrow, say goodbye until it be tomorrow. No, that's Romeo and Juliet. Your farewell heralds the beginning of our next reunion. The long road ahead only paves the way for more beautiful encounters. Okay. I should read more Shakespeare. I could wipe each play out in about an afternoon, and then about a month I've read it all. Honestly. Okay. So that was all. I thought that would set up the volcano, but no. Vulcan, no. Okay. What would be the best way to get there? Honestly, let's just go overland. I think the best way is to come from this Yob. And when we enter, we'll get some interesting stuff. And that's right. But multiple of you can do some water running. Nice. Thank you. And well, not if you drop off like that. This may be bad. And thank you. And here we are. Thank you. Just gotta keep spamming it. Yeah, eventually. Gotta figure out the rhythm to that to make sure we don't lose everything. Also, it changed the party up a little. So Mavuika, Varesa, Iansan, and then maybe Satali? Well, I know that Chaska is actually relevant for the volcano, but Mavuika is actually near to heat in the same way, though, is the thing. They're the same flying, and I like to use the most recent characters in any given situation, at least relevant to the regional gimmicks, and unfortunately, Mizuki does not really fit in this team, so sucks to suck, I guess. Try not being a standard banner character from a different region next time. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, and Aoife actually, at least for electrocharge teams, which would be the best option anyway, is... Okay, this is a lot of water. I may have made a mistake. Luckily, actually, we can just... fly over the water using Satali and Mavuika together. We'll be a little bit scuffed, though, so that's fine. Oh, yeah, we can see the big cloud for the Tenatia over there, which it's phased out, so I guess they know how dumb it looks when you get that far, so... Know that when we get close enough, we'll get sucked into a little cutscene, just like when we first entered. Not one, because this is the conclusion of the Little Dragon questline. See a cube? I think that's probably a... Oh, Chosen Dragons, and here we are. Enter the freaking volcano. Sacred Mountain was before. If that is, you can eliminate the enemy cloaked in shadow. Chosen Dragons, enter the Sacred Mountain. Rawr. Theodorix. Well, does that mean we have to go into the volcano? I don't know. What do you think? If that's the case, Putman thinks we need to go to the Collective of Plenty first and ask around on this. This little crevice. Imagine that'll break at some point. It looks very suspicious. Let's keep on going. Keep on running. Ah, you can keep that up using your skill procs. Skoka. And, oh, she can't climb at all. She's not good at slopes. Okay. Indwelling, there's a web event going on right now, which actually gives Varus's boss mats, which is crazy. That requires doing a world quest, which we'll do later. I imagine I'll farm dollar boss mats before that happens, but for now... It's part of the world quest is in the part of the volcano, not inside the volcano. Indwell Tatakasaurus, unlock the statue. Let's just do this here. Take you down. Hello, friend. And thank you. Smack. Smack justice. Suzuki, and just, wow, we can really just smack you up. I like it. Yeah, the constant overloads, that's just incredible by way up. Well, annoying. At least we gotcha, though. Yeah, since we weren't able to really do a real rotation, she didn't start getting her skill back. If it indwelled a Tatakasaurus, nice. When a Tatakasaurus is sprinting, it's got 2 pages. It can consume full gets to perform a quick charge. When a charging Tatakasaurus, it's an obstacle and is obstructed. Tap the skill button, it will enter spirited state, and the state tap sprint again to trigger a faster second sprint. That's the same as Iansan and Varus' little rushes to break through obstacles. State that Tatakasaurus can make flying leaps using terrain, even briefly dash across water or liquid phlogiston. Of course, this will also cause phlogiston to be consumed more rapidly. Tap the skill button or trigger a second sprint to easily push heavy objects that were previously immovable and even break through pulverite with ease. Oh, so it's not the kind of thing we'd be able to break through with Geo. Ah, sprint. It's a skill button when you're sprinting, or... Let me just check that again. Sprint again. Spirit and that. Yeah, it... To an even greater degree than previous characters. It's so much secret source stuff around. Maybe even more than Ushkanatlan, that UFO sort of thing. We've seen that in Ushkanatlan before for basically one puzzle. And oh, this is a little sort of snake we can ride, I believe. That's exciting. Is there going to be a tutorial if we hop on it, or... No, not at the moment. I guess we'll have to activate that. Fun. Let's go over to that statue. Atocpan. So, in the beta, briefly the area was named Sanctified Land. Atocpan, in a literal sense, means upon fertile land, and it was a religious term used by the Aztecs, I believe, to refer to their territory, which is fun, but effectively, of course, Varesa would be the fastest. Ah, we can use this to do some sprinting. Get around faster, but that does not replenish any of her Night Soul bar, unfortunately. Let's not get that just yet. Okay. Let's unlock this. Well, the world opens itself before those with noble hearts. Atocpan. Falling Star Fields. What is this? Elden Ring? Oh. This is obviously an entrance to some temple. Oh, we can see it erupting. It's even better than the sandstorm at Hadrambath being on the map, which... Interesting that they don't have a red barrier around it, because there is a lot that is purely impassable. What is interesting is that if you actually hack to jump down the center, it actually does take you to the Eternal Oasis. So it's pretty cool. Land of Fertility, Runaway Saurians, and that... Not much effort. We just unlocked one statue. Went up the Atocpan map and then not one region, and again, it'd be so nice to find all 5 of these eventually. No spoilers. So, and... Oh, interesting. Lava Dragon statue, and that... Okay, it's pretty darn... Around there. Seems to be... Molten Fracture, so we just drop down here. Oh, so the best way... And this waypoint is new, that's right. It's the one we were supposed to use. Well, I don't really care. Let's fight that statue a couple of times. Probably be able to unlock a few waypoints while we're here. But, oh, what do you know? We... Opens up around here, and also we have... Tepetlisaur just right over this way. So... Using this is going to be the best way to do it. Let's keep on going. Iansan switch. Knights will transmit between them, and... Yeah, they got really nice speed. That's fun. Lock a few of these. Got that over there. And oh, if we go this way, it automatically activates... Wait, no? That's weird. Sacred Mountain lies before. That is, you can eliminate the enemy cloaked in shadow. Shows some dragons enter the sacred mountain. And it's the same dog, but we get a cutscene this time. That's interesting. So if you go in no matter which way you go in, you get some dialogue, but if you go through here, it... Okay. Roar. We will do this on Sunday. Did the volcano just erupt? I don't know. I think you're seeing things, Pamon. No, it's been super duper quiet. Did you see it erupt? You're hallucinating. Traveler Theodorix, what's up with those faces? Look like a pair of detectives from a light novel who suddenly realize the truth about the killer. Some sort of truth, alright. The true identity of the cake murderer is Paimon. Finally, after 20 years, we know who stole Kirby's Cake and Kirby's Squeak Squad. Actually, it was a Waddle Dee, but... Rar. Darn it, how do you know? Well, why am I talking about Kirby? But very start of the game, someone steals Kirby's Cake. That precipitates the events of Squeak Squad. And it's eventually revealed to be the Squeaks, who are the mice thieves, who are the main antagonists for most of the game. Up until the end, where you get a classic Kirby bait and switch, but... Essentially... It's pretty much impossible to see, but people have dumped the game's contents. The sprite used for the shadow that steals Kirby's Cake is actually a Waddle Dee, which is interesting. Because, you know, I imagine that was more or less a placeholder, but it's interesting. Darn it, how do you know? Palm was certain no one saw her eating Little Miss Cake. Just kidding, Palm actually sold the blazed meat stew. So, wait, what did you see? Explain what he saw to Paimon. Some weird words again, some strange images. He said he saw some strange words before, and Paimon didn't see anything, so she can't be sure, but they've been written by the same person. I think that's the case, yes. Something was fishy to Paimon. This time he also saw a giant section of ruins, a broken city, and the abyss. Some sacred mountain. Don't the Natlanese call that volcano the sacred mountain? Could it be that, yeah, Jodorowsky's holy mountain? Crazy deep cut. Maybe what he saw has something to do with a volcano. It's not a reference. Paimon can't shake the feeling that the person united us with Theodorix really wants us to go there. Oh, so I guess Waxakan Ubakan would be the one who brought us to the little buddy. Do you think we can help the little one remove his, what was it called, Fleetwood's blessing, if we get to that mountain? Rawr. Let's go there then. Gotta help you grow big and strong after all. Right, one of the 6 tribes is Natlan, the Collective of Plenty, lives beside the volcano. Maybe we can ask him for help. So it's the same sort of go to the Collective of Plenty from last time, but... Oh, yeah. You are in high school. Yeah, that was fun. I remember SATs. Good luck with that. Caught them during the week instead of the weekend? I did mine at the weekend, so... Oh, so you're going to have to go there at 6 a.m. or something? I feel sorry for you. Good luck with all that. Sacred Mountain, the Undying Flame. Let me just check the geography. As your mentor, do your best. Glad you could pop in. Glad you've been doing well, and I wish you luck. Shifting Sentience Chamber of Deliberation. What? Atocpan, Sacred Mountain, the Undying Flame. While flames were once born in this place, as was all light. Heroes of old shed sweat and blood in the crucible of flowing fire to return the flame rekindled to the Natlan of today. Were they fought Shiokowaddle there? Maybe. Well, I am not trying to start the quest, so... Let's give them a wide berth and another... Well, let's get up here. Okay. Over this way. Let's go for the Bopika. Void the quest. We do not want to get that started right now. Apparently an interesting individual... What? You're kidding! I didn't want to do that! Hi! I've seen you before. Whether, Chilta little good. Okay. Well, you're a traveler in Palma. I've been waiting for you. To eat us, obviously. Oh, you know, so we've really made a name for ourselves. Wait, so you can tell anyone we were coming to the Collective of Plenty. Oh, I didn't know. Coach Xianyun such invited to our tribe. That was during the final Archon Quests, so I came out here to wait for you while I did some training. Training, Shinagara. And now you're actually here. I can't believe it. This is great. I just want to fight your boss. Surely we're not that big of a deal. Well... Not one is the patch cycle of traveler glazing non-stop. You're the heroes who defeated the abyss. You're a huge deal. Everyone now on. I heard the story of Tamani Hope so many times. I can practically recite it by heart. Okay. Please, I want to fight the lava dragon statue. I've been so excited to meet you ever since Coach Iansan told you might be coming. My name's Varesa, by the way. Not sure if Coach mentioned me before. Okay. Soda. Soda! Okay. To be honest, the best way to fight the boss would actually be Kinich team. Yeah, the name sounds familiar. During the Abyss invasion, we asked Iansan, the Collective of Plenty, need any help. She said that Varesa had it all under control. Which means you must be an impressive warrior yourself and a hero in your own right. Maybe it just wasn't that bad. Not really, it was all Uncle Akatl. All I did was clear out a few monsters. Just thinking about the invasion gives me chills even now. Coward, go home. But that's in the past. The Collective of Plenty fared pretty well, all things considered. We finished our repairs, and now it's just a matter of helping out the other tribes. Of course, it wouldn't look any different if we waited till now to do the Archon Quests and saw it now, so... Well... I wonder if... You did... Oh, Act 4 right now. Whether the sort of character profile pictures put on the map... I honestly don't imagine they changed the Natlan sort of mini-map for the war event, but... Come on, I'll take you to our camp. Great, let's go. I'm going to ignore you for now. Is it going to teleport us? I swear to... Okay. Ardent Land of Plenty, Mushroom Realm Mystery Act 1. Apparently a certain character from before shows up in this Archon Quest who I was not expecting. Just a heads up, this volcano sometimes sends rocks crashing into the area. We call them pulverite. And it's not geo. Can't break it any way other than these gals. Seem well to combat, sounds super dangerous. Here's one, wanna give it a try? Sure. Not in a million years. Use your shoulders if you want, your feet, or even your head. She's gonna force us to do it. Doesn't change anything. She keeps moving it. You're kidding. And see, there's nothing to it. Ah, so if we do it here now, she'll actually acknowledge it. There's treasure inside these rocks. So maybe a little pain isn't so bad. Okay, thank you. And she's pretty good at keeping up that rush state, which is nice. Almost certainly a bit better than Iansan, so let's take you down. And slam. Apex drive. Slam again. And slam again. And apex drive. Very fun. I like that playstyle, but of course I need a bit more energy recharge to make that really, really work. Broke all that pulverite, and I don't imagine it's coming back. So what if I just went and... I'm going to ignore you and just go to that statue. Not my problem right now. And right, we can use these ramps to make flying leaps, but I imagine we'd want to be running. Maybe even jumping, but... pinball physics. What is this, Sonic the Hedgehog? Honestly, maybe. Let's jump up. I want to see just how this is going to work. Jump. It's a decent enough flying leap. There's another one over there. Want to give it a try? Not right now. So if we were to stick right here, dash and then jump, it's about the same. It's just about the momentum she keeps. Okay. Let's go down in this crevasse. Down here, and I believe, was this part of... No, this was not part of the Iansan trial, and that blows up. Okay. Let's... And... Okay, so she doesn't have to be in a special rush state. As long as she's moving, she can break them. So that's the way in which she's better than Iansan using the drop skill. It's, of course, the 5-star versus the 4-star. Makes sense. Go and get our funny statue. Take that down. But again, we should be using Kinich for this. Oh, this looks cool. That all the way over there. It's a bit behind. I wonder if there might be a treasure chest. We'll check that later. Hello there. Okay. So we jump, maybe. So we can grab that. What? That's silly. Very treacherous terrain then. Can we... We can't quite reach it. Come on, gimme. Okay. We might have hit you. Not good. Here we are. Time to fight the statue a few times with the resin we have. A little Varesa a little bit. It's going to be all about cooking specialties, but... Been a while since we got to use Kinich for much of anything, so let's throw him a bone or two. Okay. Sacrificial on that, and the rotation was... Dehya, Emilie, Bennett, and the Kinchi. Oh, but that's right, because Kinich his artifacts were taken by Varesa. We need to redistribute the wealth. Okay. You want sacrificial, so you can keep your uptime. All about burn it down, you've got deep wood already, and that's good. Resin, yep, Zhao's got deathmatch. One of these days, Standard Banner will give me Primordial Jadewing Spear, and everything will be right with the world. Take your artifacts back from the literal beef. Yeah. She shall be grilled soon, alhamdulillah. Okay. Get that, and here we are. The artifacts I've made for you again. Let's see how well this all works. Again, Varesa can kind of work on it because Chevy and Mavuika are on her best team. But really, you just want to accumulate burning. Lava Dragon Statue, Stone-Hearted Final Form of Flowing Flame. You know what he reminds me of? Cragalanche from Kid Icarus Uprising. Been from around 2011, I think. Wow. Creature with 2 forms is capable of continuously generating heat. Within its geohuman form, you can use power attacks to cause it to enter its molten dragon form. At this point, if you continue to use power attacks, it will enter an overburn state. However, if you manage to cool it down, it will revert back to its geohuman form. Yeah, overburn, so when you use burning. Okay. Thank you. I did not want to get hit like that. Come on, and. 1, 2. Hit, and. Thanks. Shoot, and. 2. Shoot. 1, 2. Shoot, and rage. Keep that rage up. And healing's good. Oh, but you have not actually transformed yet. I guess we have enough damage to just defeat you. Press the self-destruct button, and we've broken you down in the overburn. Nice. Follow Varesa. I don't carry right now. Cause a lava dragon statue disintegrate using continuous pyro attacks. Nice. Big thing is, and this is why I kind of wish I had could be using the Varesa team. Now I gotta switch just to make sure that I'm, getting the right people the friendship experience, which isn't a crazy problem, but still a little bothersome. Sparkle Statue Core. Core pulled from the blazing remains of the Lava Dragon statue. It is said that the entity known as the Lava Dragon statue is a special existence born from the limitless accumulation of phlogiston. Originally, it was believed that pure energy would produce a being with human-like intelligence. However, this attempt ultimately failed, and like in ancient times, it seems that pure energy can no longer naturally give rise to complex, intelligent, controllable organisms capable of growth. Because it's explicitly said that when Celestia arrived, they essentially put limits on essentially natural intelligence from elements, which makes sense because that's essentially the origin of the dragons, based on what we know, essentially very intelligent coalescences of the elements. You're back. Thank you. We got some problems here. Thanks. I didn't manage to dodge. Oops. Dumb. And hit and keep that burning up. And here we are. 1, 2. Burn. Keep on burning. And 1 more hit. Very, very good. And let's put that back down. And don't need the burst this time. We'll just do 1 more hit. So good. This is even more than the Papilla, which Kinich was good on, but Chaska arguably better. Though, really, they're about the same. It's not a huge difference. This is literally pretty much undeniably a Kinich boss. Or it's a burning boss, really, but there is only one character who can use burning in any meaningful context and not have it be a very lame joke, and that is Kinich himself, so there we go. Good for him. Alright. Get this started, and get that down. Make sure that works, and 1, 2. Nice and fast. Hit that just right. Nice. Shoot, and make sure we stay in the circle. 1, 2. Shoot. 1, 2. Shoot. Nice. Keep that overburn going. Don't really need that, but as long as we can keep that. Okay, come on. 1, 2. And takes another, unfortunately, and there we go. Nice. Does so fast to this particular team. Even when I get that Varesa team all leveled, because Aoife actually uses these materials. So I'll need to farm a few more. That's part of why I'm farming so much, because Varesa's Travel Chronicle, and like I said, the web event right now, which is getting boss mats out for the first time ever. Again, it's crazy that they were doing that. Boss mats from a web event. It's nice. We'll see what happens, but big thing is run this one more time, and this is a Kinich boss. I don't imagine that even when I fully level the Varesa team, Chevreuse C6, Mavuika, sadly no cons on Iansan, no Yoncons, but very, very good, and okay, come on. And get back in the circle, and I think that miss. It may be bad for me. Come on, and 1, 2, and we messed that up. We messed that up. It's so over. Thank you. Get that going, and overburn should be nice and soon. Thank you. Shoot. But even though we did the transmission, Kinich's transmission versus enemies is not great. Somehow it didn't really link. But hey, it works. Got a bit. We can level up Varesa. We can evolve her a little bit more. That'll be nice. Then go and collect the specialties in question. Very, very good. Find that domain 2. Crit damage. Not great. Not special. Oh, but of course we need to get the darn specialties. Okay. Okay. Should check. Put the other team back in. Things are doing well. And we are actually able to manage to change party right as it showed up, because normally, yeah, that enemy being there would prevent it. So let's start looking. Discuss what Gen Bloom. And that. Yeah, we're going to be unlocking some teleport waypoints. See how many we get today. And to be frank, we want, I'd imagine, oh, Matador Monitu. Fun to play around with those. Moani and Kinich both show specialties. Let's put in Kinich. Been a while since he had his day. Just gonna keep collecting. Skysplit Gemboom Seed. Oh, that's fun. You've actually got seeds for these things, but don't imagine that the collection will be enough of an issue. Oh, Dracolite. Oh, so it's breakable. Buy a dash, though. Imagine buy a Claymore too, and got more than a few Claymores right now. Let's go back and collect the correct ones. The ones we're targeting at the moment. Ah, yeah. She really is Sanic. Okay. This is honestly a little annoying. Then yeah, it's her. Lucio Libre. It's the hold that lets her run. Yep. So back to Iansan. And the fact that she's not as fast is actually good. This is a little unwieldy at times, to be honest. Oh, come on. Okay. Oh, who am I hitting? I did not mean to climb. Collection complete. New collection area marked. Let's get the tutorial for this Matador Monitu. And hi. Where did that send you? Hello? Wait. Mischievous Monitu, seen near the collective of plenty, it seems to enjoy playing pranks, constantly waving a flag to attract the Telepathisaur's charges. Bullfighting, however, it also seems to be capable of stopping regular charges, perhaps performing second sprint is the key to knocking it down. Happen to see a Monitu standing atop rocks and telling you don't hesitate to charge straight at it. Something good might happen. Or not. Where did it go? Is it standing atop the rocks now, or? Oh, it just keeps going, so you have to keep on hitting the darn thing. Okay. Let's not get hit. Oh my goodness, ouch. Seems like something's erupting. Okay. So, I suppose it's time to fill up a little and... Oh, it's the Dracolite. It's an ore. Counted as mining. Fun. Couple of islands, and this all the way over here. It's gotta be a local legend, right? I don't imagine it's anything else. It's so isolated, a bit like Bronze Lock Spot. I do not want to accidentally start the world quest. Let's not let that happen. So it would be to put a climb in with you. Thank you. And just go over this way. Fun. Papika. Oh my goodness, she got hops. Okay. Oh, I think this is this family orchard. Telepathisaur is on guard, strongly opposing him. Do choice to eat banana, and that's for Telepathisaur. There hasn't been sound the entire time and nobody noticed? You're kidding. Okay. All of you are too goddamn pacifist. Yeah, it was off. All of you are too goddamn pacifistic. If it sounds wrong, get angry and tell me. Okay. Whatever. At least we got her, but... An hour and a half of no sound, because again, I don't know what the hell's up with Streamlabs, but it never consistently has it active. I always have to, for this game, maybe it's a security thing, but I gotta go in and switch the I have to switch this audio source to a different app, then switch it back to this game for it to notice there's audio. I'm gonna kill Streamlabs. Not the company, not the people who made it, just the app itself. Roar. Seems like that orchard's private property. The Tepetlisaur sure isn't letting anyone in here. It's Bopika's Tepetlisaur, and oh, that sent us to the other side. That was actually convenient. Italian death blow. Okay. So let's keep on going. Oh, what the shit? Keep on running. Set ourselves in a circle. What is that tremor? I will deal with that later. Okay. Keep collecting this stuff. Oh! Volcano! Doing volcano things. Hello there. I like that they got music for it. Let's get hit. There's got to be an achievement. There's got to be a way to trigger that manual, right? I imagine. Okay. There's got to be an achievement for dying to it, too. Sorry, Mavuika. I want to see how this works. Okay. How much longer? How much longer? Okay. Please, please. Kill me! Kill me! I'm begging. Is it over? Don't tell me it's over. Okay, come on. Does it change location, or... Just erupt over here, please. Come on. Let's hope it didn't spirit anything too weird this time. Well, I guess it's done. I imagine there's an achievement for getting killed by a volcanic eruption, but guess that's coming later. Next time it erupts. Yeah, I know, right? Nothing like not dying. Investor of ancient ruins defeat the monsters. Where all these monsters come from, staying here really is a waste of time. Palamon thinks she can hear someone calling for help. We should go take a look. Not right now. No! Don't do that! Don't spoil it! I'll kill you. Okay. No pins left. Wow. Okay. I won't just kill you. I'll kill you with hammers. Absolute reprobate. Okay. You know I'd say that, right? I imagine you've been you're just trying to provoke me. Okay, do you like getting killed by them? You'd better. Actually, you'd better not. It'd be no fun if you did. Okay. Let's keep on running. Next time it erupts. Let's use our speed. Oh, that's second sprinting. Geothermal vent. A fragile vent formed due to underground heat, which periodically emits gaseous phlogiston. Using a plunging attack or the Tepetlisaur's downward stomp can cause it to collapse. Downward stomp? But the plunging attack, I wonder if Iansan's charge could activate it. Warren has said that when a geothermal vent collapses, other strange phenomena often occur nearby. Okay. I appreciate it. I also like being provoked. So that I can get angry at you. You know, as one does. I love that the lava is just around. And here we are. Xianyun. And a little slower. Gets us back to full. Thank you. And then I'll kill you with a hammer. Maybe even multiple hammers if I'm feeling especially nice. Okay. And candle cap. That's gotta be pulverite, right? Pulverite? Okay. Come on. Next one is over here. You're welcome, see? I have a heart sometimes. Keep on going. And nothing like audio issues, but it really is just... If you see something, say something. I can't know to fix things unless I'm alerted. So... Oh, and it's all the way over there. You're kidding. Time to use Milani and I imagine activate a local legend or something. I'm aware. Start noticing. Oh, but that... It's not even on the map right now, but that mist-shrouded island over there is apparently going to be... They're going to add a boss there next patch, as well as the area itself. So there's no empty arena right now. They're just adding the entire thing next patch. Whole shebang, so to speak. So, let me... Let's put in Milani. Better suited than anyone else, I imagine. Okay. Milani. Yosh. And there isn't even a teleport waypoint on the island. It's hilarious. And over there, oh, and you got train there. So that is probably going to be the Marajavari. Aha, southwest of the volcano. It's an interesting place for it, honestly. A lot of people expected something different, myself included. Okay. And one wonders if there were any clues to be found for entering the great volcano of Tolan amidst these crumbling ruins. Yeah, you would. Let me see. It's still actually got its main sword over there, and oh, actually there is a teleport waypoint. It's just an invisible one. That's fine. Okay. It's got this, and so is this gonna be a... It's gotta be a local legend here. It's gotta be, right? A lot of these flowers. So this is basically the funny flower island. Okay. Hopefully today we can be killed by the volcano. Oh well. What are you saying, that it's Flower Island? It is good to see you. Always good to see you. How are you? What would you say the best Alice in Chains song is? This is a... Oh, this is going to be World Quest stuff. This is not a... Oh. Imagine we find this and it's... Can't climb it because it's all interactable stuff. Let me actually see, though. If I were to Night Soul Transmission while high enough above the ground. There we are. Let's just drop down on top. Can we stand on top? Yeah, it's enough of a platform. It's just not climbable. So that's going to be fun. Gonna sound pretty funny, because it is, I hope. But it's a decent one. The funniest thing about Godsmack, aside from the fact that, is that Godsmack says, and they insist, of course, who believes them, that they are not named after the song Godsmack. The band Radiohead, for all their faults, will openly say, yes, we named ourselves after a Talking Heads song. But Godsmack is hilariously insistent that no, we're not named after an Alice in Chains song. And that instead they were named after an incident where one of them got really drunk and slapped one of the others. No, I'm serious. But the funny thing about Godsmack as well is just that their best and most profound song was profound by accident. Because Sully Irma's, well, technically Salvatore Irma, he's a Wiccan. And so they have a song called Voodoo, which is a song that sounds, at first glance, well, first hearing, I suppose would be the better term, to be a song about struggling with heroin addiction. And under that schema, it's a really good and really cool song. But when he was asked about it, he said, this is a song about a movie called The Serpent and the Rainbow, which is a movie about witchcraft, which, cool enough, I guess, but not as cool, honestly. Not as cool as a song about... Not as cool as a song that turns witchcraft into a metaphor for drug addiction as an interesting frame for understanding drug addiction. No, this is just a song about a movie, and not an especially good movie either. This is why I believe in death of the author. Because a lot of things actually are better and more profound when you interpret it yourself and don't ask what the author says. Because quite often, people make good things by total accident sometimes. Sometimes the artist does not need to be trusted. Yeah. Oh, let's just crash on through. break on through to the other side. Oh, it's the Furnace Shell Mountain Weasel. It's even got more weasels. They're actually possessed by the machine on their back. Unique ancient species of mountain beasts as one within this sacred mountain ruins has formed an interdependent relationship with the source mechanism. During battle, the Furnace Shell Mountain Weasel will burrow underground and activate its secret source core to periodically attack surrounding enemies. At this time, dealing enough damage to the secret source core will force it to emerge from underground. However, since it's hiding underground, using a plunging attack might prove more effective. This is an enemy you're supposed to fight with Varesa, basically. Hi! Let's fight this thing, and what? She dashed and then died. That's crazy. Oops. Well, if we fight you, we'll fight you later. I was not expecting that outcome. Yeah, let's stay away from that. Basically, I have to break that mechanism. How much of this is maybe in the portal? That's funky. I see it periodically releases its pulses. Then it comes up on its own. Metallica is the one real band I've ever seen in my life. Very dead? Oh my goodness, I should not have provoked you. Good thing Milani's somewhat durable. But the reason I was able to see them somewhat up close was there weren't even seats. Got them for under 100 because we bought them a year in advance. That was the only reason why. And that was a really great concert too. I don't have the key for that. Let's... Oh goodness, I need to switch Mavuika out of the party if I want to keep someone close enough to death. Well, I should have used Varesa or Iansan to take the hits. Man, I'm stupid. I'm stupid. It's just how many flowers are going to even be available right now? But they had a really good balance of, and this was 7 years ago, but they were really, really good. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to sound annoying, the songs that did better were their older songs, but not for the reason you might expect. Well, partially just their better songs, but the big thing is that on their first album, Kill 'Em All, really great album, James Hetfield, the frontman, was a younger guy at that point in time, and as a result, he had a bit of a younger sounding voice. And they're great songs, very well composed. Generally, and this is just life, a band's best album is almost always going to be their first or their second. Because to be totally frank, in most cases, they honestly have more time in the oven on their very first album. Because there's no time since the previous album that they have to be mindful of. They can just work on that debut, and sometimes the sophomore effort, they'll improve on that significantly, and then they start getting stale. For example, for the Strokes, for example, some people say their best album is This It? Some people say it's Room on Fire. I think it's Room on Fire. Partially because I'm annoying. For Arctic Monkeys, of course I'm mentioning the Arctic Monkeys and the Strokes in the same conversation, but some people say it's whatever it is people say I am, that's what I'm not. Some people say it's Favorite Worst Nightmare. But generally, people will say either it's the freshman or the sophomore effort, so to speak. And oh my goodness, are there any Sky Split Gem Blooms in Ancient Sacred Mountain? Let me see. Sky Split Gem Bloom. They are in Atocpan. Apparently there are 91 on the map. It's gotta be an Ancient Sacred Mountain, right? It's gotta be. Varesa, Sky Split. Let me see. Just check Ancient Sacred Mountain. Yeah, how many are gonna be in there, I swear. Ancient Sacred Mountain. I see the wrong place. Settings. I'm just on the map right now. And okay. Oh, you have to actually click on it to change the map. That's funky. I need to. So I'm looking at it. That Sky Split. And there are 26 in the other map. Okay. Annoying. And how many Dracolite? Draco. Let me see. Draco. So I guess they're more on the mountain. Take a look for that. Okay, so it's only the gem blooms in the volcano. Yeah, I mean, within the volcano. It's a lot of those too. Yeah, but that's annoying because it means it's gonna be a bit before I'm able to actually take her all the way. All the way leveled up. She'll go a good way, but it does mean I have to wait a bit for Abyss. Well, you know, at least you understand yourself. That way when we send the wolves after you, you'll understand. Let's go to collect. Good amount of these, and yep, there are a lot more here because this is the volcano itself. Let's do a bit more running. I don't want to try to speed. Last bit of things. What I really want to do is try out the new artifact domain, especially because I will be able to level them up a bit more. I would concur. The nose piercing certainly does suggest that kind of personality. Watch out, volcanoes erupting. Okay. Varesa can take this hit. Sorry, Varesa. Where is it? Come on. Let's look at the ground. There we are. There was no achievement, and we died for nothing. Great. Yeah. Oh! These can only be broken by Thunderbolt Rush, or Varesa's Rush. You can't... They're not geo-objects. They seem to maybe be pyro-objects, weirdly enough. You've got to break them differently. Okay. Well, you know... Fair enough. Alright. We can break them down very slowly. Very slowly. Maybe? Nice, but... Yeah, you really just want to be using Varesa. Okay. The over, yeah, seems like it's over, but we don't have any... Interesting. Okay. So really, it's you either bring it to Tepetlisaur over or use Varesa, and... I didn't know you could snipe like that. That is disgusting. Wow. Okay. They need levels. But I suppose it's silly, just how different that is. It seems you can pick up 2 there. Find somewhere to hide. Only if you're lame. You just run and dodge. Okay. Okay, come on. You when you wake up... Is that the... Okay, that is not the Chinese plankton meme. I was wondering for a second. Okay. We're out of magnets. See, those actually give 2. Okay. Get a lot of these. It's going to be a lot easier to get Iansan out of them. But I imagine at least some of them are going to be in tunnels. But he's going to take a couple rounds of collection to get everything for Varesa. And from doing her quests, get 30. So 135 in total is what we need. And as of right now, we've got... Let me see. Come on, Bapika. Yep, so we can collect on Friday, too. Not on Sunday, because I'll be doing it in the morning. I'll be doing it in the evening of Friday, but... Then I'll level her all the way the next time after that, and then just do Abyss. Sounds good. Okay. So like I said, as of right now, it's plunging, so that means Xiao on one side and Varesa on the other. Maybe even Gaming. Though to be fair, both Gaming and Xiao compete for Xianyun and Fiorina. Varesa's team, she can plunge on her own. She doesn't need any of those characters in her best team. We'll be using either Xiao or Gaming, but like I said, their team comps, the characters they want, they battle for certain characters, so they would not really be used at the same time, unfortunately for you. You'll have to get used to it, sadly. It's okay, though. I'm sure you'll live. Honestly, maybe not. You might die. Yeah. Ranking over? Yeah, seems like it's over. cool. There's rolling rocks, though. What is this, Bob-omb Battlefield? I also like gaming. It's my hobby. I do find it very funny that they named him... Oh, we can break these by just charging through. Eh. But the fact that they named him Gaming with that pronunciation instead of Jiaming, which is essentially... Oh. Jiaming is the more standard Chinese pronunciation. The fact that they use Gaming, which is the Cantonese, part of it is that he does sort of represent Cantonese culture, but it's also, I imagine, to some extent, search engine optimization. Maybe we'll try that later. Not now. I've suffered enough. Watashi. So, interestingly enough, though, I don't imagine this will mean anything to anyone other than me. It really doesn't even mean anything to me. Her voice actress for Plunge. Voice actress for Varesa is Mao, who, in Japanese at least, who notably is the character Narmea in Grand Blue Fantasy. That is, I believe, her most notable role to most people. Again, I don't imagine this means anything to anyone other than me. Hardly means anything to me. But, fun fact, I suppose. For someone who... So they replace, notably, Kinich's voice actor, actually. His English voice actor. And a lot of people didn't like that, actually. And I understand, because the reason specifically that... Oh... There's the whole no English VA right now is because there are union contract negotiations going on between SAG-AFTRA and Formosa, which is the voice studio that does Genshin's English. Star Rail uses a different studio, so does ZZZ, so they haven't had problems, but essentially, they're essentially trying to secure guarantees that AI will not be used to replicate their voices and replace them. And that hasn't been guaranteed, so they've stayed on strike. So the guy who replaced Kinich is essentially crossing a picket line, and there are a lot of people who are not happy about that. Tunnel through the mountain. It's just normally accessible. Interesting. So I have to break through. Fun. But yeah, that's just her. Oh, but we get Phlogiston from breaking the city and just keep charging. That's fun. Let's avoid that Pyroculus. That's a lot of rocks. Okay, cool. Fly and leap, and... What is this tortoise doing? How much are we breaking? And I get some of that, and... Dracolite. And... Wow. Well, I would never say that about an actor. If you think you need to make moral compromises to secure a role, go work at Starbucks or something, I swear. Acting... And... You know, it's... That sounds a bit mean. And it's not pleasant. But it very much is... If you just need money, there are far more ethical things you can do than break a strike. Especially since acting is such a fundamentally insecure profession to begin with, that any degree of breaking rank is very, very short-sighted. Yeah, you could go sell cheese. And that does not require breaking rank and selling out your compatriots. I mean, to be totally honest, it's... Frankly, I'd sell cheese just to sell cheese. But that's just me, as somebody who likes cheese. Your cheese mileage may vary. We're all blue cheese people here, right? Pretty sure. With that, I think we see some rock. Yeah. You'd buy 2 blue cheeses, or as in you'd also buy 2 as in also. Don't worry. I'll try to not make too much light of your struggles with the intimidating and foreboding English language. Okay. Let's see. Good over there. And the jump, that's the best way to cross. Not a substitute for metric, a substitute for imperial. Metric is good. If you've got metric, you stay with metric. Okay. And what? Oh, ouch! Okay. Secret Source Dragon Cannon might have once been part of a dragon statue mechanism. Oh, so that big segmented dragon is probably this. Now, only the section that could be considered the dragon's head remains. Fires projectile through the cannon's muzzle. Those who trigger it said that if you charge the muzzle with immense power, you can strike a powerful blow. Ah, so... Okay, I understand. It's all physical damage. So I assume that this sort of pseudo-boss battle against that dragon statue is going to be charge into its head. That's fun. Go and do a bit more breaking. But it is crazy that there's really no better way than the Tatankasaurus to break this. Well, unless you have Varesa. That there's no alternative. You can't just break it with blunt attacks. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, what I will say is... The one place where metric does not apply is time. The French, during the French Revolution, and... If I recall correctly, it was the French Revolution that invented metric in the first place. So there's our response. Looks like they've closed the door. Looks like we need to find another way in. Okay. Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Okay. And how much more is there? Oh, her turning radius is tough. Okay. A bit more over that way. And how much more? How much more? But metric time is not a thing that works. You cannot make time something other than at least months and days. There isn't really a better way to do it, unfortunately. You can't do time in tens. Because the big thing is that, you know, it's incomplete and imperfect, but 12 is more or less the number of lunar cycles to a year. 365 the number of days. You can't metrify that. Yeah, metric time could work for seconds and hours, but doing it for... Let me see. Thermidor month. How many... French Republican calendar. 12. 10 dice cycles. Okay, the French Revolutionary calendar actually... It kept 12 months. And it had a number of leap days per year, actually. 12 30-day months with a bit of balance, 5 or 6 if it was leap or not. And, yeah, intercalary days. The big thing is that instead of having 7-day weeks, it had, 3 10-day weeks per month, which is interesting, I suppose, but... It was very weird, to the point that it only gets remembered as a joke at this point. Not really, it's really a leap day thing. Let me just check. What was the pre-Julian calendar? Place to buy. Roman calendar was lunisolar. Exclusively. 8-day week. Weird. Numa Pompilius. Regional calendar. Yeah, it was a 10-month calendar. It's not that we missed months, it's that adding July and August got things thrown off. The one thing that might be kind of similar to that, now that I think of it, is I like Varesa. Honest to goodness, they should just make every character a 5-star. Stop making 4 stars besides maybe a couple just to give out free for events, so that more people can be happy. Just what do they need? What do they need 4 stars for, really? Besides occasional giveaways. But let me see. How many did we get? How much Dracula did we get? Oh, we can do a few more. Blue Fate rolls. Fun. Fate. It's 80! 80! Oh my goodness. Poor Varesa. There's her green smoothie. Okay. Let's run the domain a few times. I want to see how well I can make this work. The stupid team I have. But I'm not gonna get mad at people for not liking the distribution of 4 stars and 5 stars in this game, because I like Eva, and I like his kit. I like that he's basically specifically made to work with Auroron. But introducing Escoffier, they didn't even really introduce her, but it's a bit silly for Escoffier, a character with no build-up, no context, and no hype, to be the 5-star. And Aoife to be the 4-star. A character who's been foreshadowed for a while. Especially since it's not to give him out for free. Aoife's the one we're getting for free next patch. I mean, Auron's the one we're getting for free next patch, but it feels motivated, and it definitely is motivated. You know, it is what it is, but I do think that in part, they're literally trying to get people who play the game for the male characters to actually play other games or even go to Love and Deep Space. Because MiHoYo actually invested in Love and Deep Space. They have an interest in the game performing well. But that's enough of that for today. But it's an hour and a half with no sound. I'll eat you. Okay. Come on. Because that means that Varis's intro voice lines weren't recorded. For archival purposes, things have been missed. Oh well. Let's level you up, see how much we can level you. I did a lot of pre-farming for them, which is nice. Volcano Kablam. Kablamo. Keep leveling, and since this is a domain, we can't switch people out after we go in. We gotta somehow manage to use them for the silly team for the domain. As in, cheese under sauce. You're sounding awfully Chicagoan. Okay. Are you familiar with Altoona pizza? As a Pennsylvanian, you might have heard. And not in a good way. But the recent CEO assassin ended up hiding out in Altoona, apparently, if you believe he's the one who did it, which is... I didn't. I'm not familiar with Vine. But, essentially, for better or worse, but essentially, a lot of people, myself included, thought, you know, the only I'd heard of Altoona before this is just Altoona pizza, which is just really, really weird-looking pizza with American cheese on top and whole bell pepper slices. It is kind of an affront to God. But, you know, that was the first time anyone heard of Altoona. And then Wuji Mangione killing Brian Johnson. If you think he did it, there was actually a lot of... Well, it's not really determined, to be totally honest, but... Yeah, Altoona, literal joke. Literal joke location. And he's got... This is a crit rate... No, it's not a crit damage circuit. That's right. It's just a stupid amount of crit rate on these artifacts. Okay. She's got a bit of ascension, so... Let's make this work. Furnace Shell Mountain Weasel. Come on. Dodge. Ouch! That sucks. Okay. Thanks. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you. And how did I not get that back? Yeah, I don't take New Jersey seriously either. Here we go. And thanks, plunge. And plunge. Yep, and we knocked you out and even did some extra damage. This is going to be a little annoying, but this is how we got to do it. Oh, she didn't trigger a reaction. That's annoying. Okay. Thanks. Oh, we missed our Apex Drive. I hate you. Actually hate you. There we go. Apex Drive, and... Let's plunge. Let's get an extra boost in. Mizuki, Mavuika, and gotta get an extra one in for you to hit. This is silly. Luckily, we got a buff, but even still. And Apex Drive. Nice. Hit, and somehow we're not getting all the charges we need. Whatever. And hit. Yeah. I didn't know anyone in Europe was familiar with Bakugan. It's kind of sad, honestly. Okay, well, alright. Thank you. Hit. That's definitely a bit of a mess up. Here we are. Does that take forever? Yeah. At least our plunges are good for taking that out. I did not know that Bakugan was big in Italy. I would never have expected Bakugan of all things to be big in Italy of all places. HP, that's gonna suck. As far as his plunge set, and that could maybe be good. Maybe. Okay. Big thing is, we can start throwing trash artifacts into Iansan's stuff. Said there's not... If I use the artifact juices to level it before I've got a Varesa set, big thing is, I want to get a Varesa set. Well, 4 pieces, then I'll make a... Well, really, I need 3 pieces. I need a good feather, a good flower, and a good sands, goblet, or circlet. Then I can take 1 off piece and use the printer to make a 4th onset piece. Well, I am aware that Italy is one of the 3 great weeb countries. The others being Brazil and Indonesia. I've said this before, but I was not well, Bakugan isn't even... Bakugan is American. It's so American that they tried to give their main character a last name that sounded kind of Asian, and it meant they gave him a last name that means poop. His name is Dan Kuso. Literally, his name literally means poop. Okay, well. Yeah. Here we are. Let's get that on it. Oops. Wait for that to disappear, and... that didn't do it. Okay, whatever. And cool. Cool. Hit and Apex Drive. Cool. And slam. Slam. And slam. So nice. Get knocked out of the ground, I swear. And how did that launch us? That's insane. Okay. Hit. Iansan reacts. Get that going. And we got that going. And slide. Okay. Apex Drive. Might have used it too soon. That's okay. Slam. They got problems. We got problems. Okay. Get that gone. Newgrounds. What does Newgrounds have to do with Bakugan? It would not surprise me if Newgrounds somehow has something to do with Bakugan. I'm just not aware of it. Honestly, what I'm glad about is that somehow Friday Night Funkin' made Newgrounds relevant again. And then Friday Night Funkin' is not relevant now because the devs spent all... Well, they didn't spend all the money on crack. That's just a joke. But they're not relevant right now. And there we are. It just takes... Doing this with Iansan and Varesa is the deepest. Back when Natlan first started, I tried to put Kachina and then Kirara, actually, because I just got her from Similanka after not having her before, ever. Kirara and Kachina in the party, and the only damage dealer was Emilie. It's crazy. And that, luckily, I was in the Natlan talent book domain, and that... Crazy that Skirk's not coming next patch. It's gonna be... They made us wait for Emilie when Unfinished Reverie came out 2 patches before her, but even still. Not Gil's Tail Feather. I miss Flash. What, half American anime? That's not a thing. If it's American, it's not anime. I'm sorry, and I say this as someone who likes Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is definitionally not anime. And that's our Apex Drive, and the nice thing is that it doesn't use it too much of that, and there we go. Good. Here we are. And we gotta keep slamming. Was it the weird skateboard stuff? Oh, and when you plunge, it prevents it from using its attack. So this is just whack-a-mole. I see, I see. That's gone. Let's wait for another hit. There we go. Nice. And this is pretty darn good. Justice. And here we are. Make sure we can keep going. And how did we lose energy from that somehow? Yeah, exactly. We would consume everything. And here we are. Got Apex Rev on that one. Yeah, because you see, she's actually got uniquely a special burst that costs less energy, and what's nice is that I was wondering whether it would empty the gauge, but kind of like Mavuika, she can fill up her gauge twice, sort of. She can use it at a base level, because she has special non-energy called Fighting Spirit, but if you filled up double that to 200 Fighting Spirit, she gets a stronger burst. It scales based on Fighting Spirit, 100 is just the minimum, but it's nice that Varesa doesn't use all her energy when she uses her special burst. Italians don't sleep. It's okay, though. We love them anyway. Or their presence is appreciated. Anyway. I used that on the boss. So we're just running this. And we're all going on the oil rig together. Let's see out of the way. Wait for that to go. Now we can use Iansan. And energies that keep dropping there. That's okay. And not enough for Apex Drive, because of course it isn't. Here we are. Nice. And one more slam. This ain't bad. Yep, and her charge attack launches her into the air. What's very interesting is that was a mechanism originally from Zhao. That in the beta, he didn't get bonus jumping during his burst. He just had a special weird charge attack that launched him. And that was how he would use his plunging attacks. Which is very interesting. Why are you using energy? It's so weird. Must be some mechanic I'm not paying attention to right now. Whatever. This is a fun one. Okay. Problems with this. Come on. And can't use that. What is consuming the energy? That's the question. Come on. Slam. Wait, oh, we weren't fast enough that time. Jump it. What? You're kidding. Slam it. Before. There we go. Thank you. Hit. We got our energy back. Thank you for ER. Let's do that one more time with what we have. Or we could use our fragile resin to run that another couple of times. It is amusing in a macabre sort of way to be trying to run the max level domain with characters that are, quite frankly, well, they're not unsuited. This is actually a pretty decent character lineup, aside from Mizuki being here instead of Chevy. Especially since Chevy is better healer in this context, but just... We are very underleveled, to say the least. So let's go out and get a little bit of healing. Understandable. Gotta save as much of this as possible to see... So we don't even know what Skirk's gonna do. Some people say she's HP scaling. It sounds like BS, frankly, but whatever. Okay. Didn't you say at one point you like the conchs? The conch save pasta? And the place I always go to just refill energy is right here, so I can... hit these Tepetlisaurs a bit. It's always good. Sorry, we'll beat you up. Thank you. I did not intend to do that. Right. Come on. Hit. And how are we going to get our energy from that? Is that base energy recharge? Let me see. Oh, it's because the Apex Drive. There we go, got some of that. Monsuno. Was that the skateboard one? Oh, okay, it was on Nickelodeon and Living DNA. And it being TV Tokyo in Japan. This was made by... It was made by a Japanese studio, but it was on Nicktoons. Wow. Oh, test tubes! Okay. For the DNA motif. Oh, that's actually pretty interesting. I'm not going to dismiss that out of hand. I'll dismiss that in hand. Okay. But I like her playstyle. Specialists need to pay attention to the Apex Drive stuff, even if it is eventually pretty not self-explanatory, but it's not too complicated, but it's more involved. You have to press more buttons. It's not like Ayato or the others where you just spam a button. It's, you know, it's E, then E, left mouse, or then E, left mouse, left mouse. Sometimes you even press Q. So, well, Americans will use the word noodle to just describe pasta in general, regardless of the shape. Well, think of an Asian noodle. You know, long, thin, well, at least long, and something like orecchiette is not going to be a noodle. Yeah. Personally, Farfally's a classic, but good angel hair's nice. If you're gonna try to be wishy-washy about the difference between pasta and noodles, do it outside of earshot of an Italian. The spaghetti. Okay. Let's see. Go in. Hit you, get this swirl. Wait for that to go, and okay, there we are. Reacts. There we are. And slam. This will be an Apex Drive. Go for the stomp. And 1, 2, 3, and stomp. 1, 2. And that's the rotation to you. Fun. Slam. Oh, we didn't time that right. Oops. Set it right. And 1, 2, and before that goes, as long as we time it right, we can get that going pretty continuously, but we have to get it right at the start. Okay. Tagliatelle. I should know. I feel bad now. Tagliatelle. I like how she's got that little face imprint, but it's not the same as the big burst when she does that. Okay. Dodge. Let's set it away again. Let's get that in. And get our energy back. 2. Okay. Whoop. And just keep plunging. There we are. Fine. Okay, good, good, good. Just didn't want to use Iansan's burst that time, because she wouldn't have the energy for it. Because we'd kill the Weasel before the end of that. Once we get Varesa off of this and can run Chevy on this team instead, I think we should... Might be good eventually. Oh, gnocchi. Yeah, gnocchi. Ravioli, tortellini, gnocchi. When I was in Italy, in Bologna, I had probably the best pasta I've ever had, which I had some real carbonara in Rome, and that was okay. But the best pasta I've ever had was gnocchi. Sorry, we're on American time. Okay. And 2, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Not let any of that go to waste. And 2. Perfect. And here you are. Immediately plunge, and don't get slapped. Gnocchi. Happy? I'll kill you. But as I was saying... Penny. Okay. And it's not the Apex Drive. It's all about the Knight's consumption. And here we are. We got a good amount of energy. Thank you. And Mizuki. You guys just stay out of it. That's not that bad. Okay. Come on. And 1, 2, 3. Slam. Slam. And... but we don't have the Apex Drive. Now we get... You're kidding! Luckily the flag damage should probably kill you. It's so nice you can just plunge on demand. Really good. Here we are. That didn't... Goodbye. Got butt slammed. Varesa with a Super Smash Brothers Peach Bomber. Well, exactly. Most Italians don't even speak Italian. You know, every dialect each of you uses would be considered mispronunciation by any other of you. But, yeah, that's a dialect language for you. But as I was saying... Oh... The tortellini in brodo that I had in Bologna which I had before a little performance we did. It's probably the best pasta dish I've ever had. It was really, really good. Maybe one day I'll go back to Italy, just for the food, probably. Oh well. Mizuka. And here we are. And here we are. Okay, but it's because the Italians are wrong and we're right. You have to keep this in mind. That's a joke. That is a joke. Thank you. And here we are. Now, diving no hit. I'm joking. To make you angry. To knock you out of the ground. The Apex Drive. Okay. Slam. And... yeah, it can only insult the Italians so much before I die. You know? Okay, here we are. Should work. Let's just see if we have to contend with more hits. Yeah. Okay. And, oh, we lost Apex Drive. But come on. Here we are. And how much more? Do not. Please do not. Oh, you're dead. Thank you, Mavuika. Yeah. I distracted you with Varesa crushing enemies with her rotund body. Okay. Okay. Distracted with rage. Understandable. Famously, what was said after Garibaldi conquered the Sicilies and put Vittor Emmanuel on the throne was not by Garibaldi, I believe, but, you know, we have made Italy, now we must make Italians. Italy is simultaneously one of the oldest and youngest countries in the world as a result. Watashi? Zuzuki? Slam. Okay, here we are. Well, by my definition, Portuguese is a dialect of Spanish. So... If Italian dialects are different languages, okay, well, then they're all dialects of each other. How about it? They're all in the Italian language family. Because if... well, no, by that definition, what that means is that speaking like a Southerner means you speak a different language than speaking as a Northerner or a Midwesterner. And some people might actually like that, or like to say that. But I would not agree with that. So... let me... you know, since Varus is so good at plunging, I got 4 minutes left before I work out and go to bed. Let's go beat this plunging local legend, actually. Hour and a half without sound. Going to eat a child. Okay. Should be over here. Let's go running. Chikanga. Okay. Let's do it. Well, yeah, they're all dialects of each other. Well, I was making noise. It was the game that had no audio. That was the thing. Basically, the big thing is, you do a plunging attack on this rock 10 times and he dies. See? Thank you. NPC, got one totem over there, one totem over there, so... that means maybe, unless the one in the middle has its own local legend as patch, we're getting 2 Night's Soul Totem local legends and 1 open world local legend. By the way, very excited. Okay. Well, the language is Irish Gaelic, is the thing. So, let me see. And that's not Apex strong. Okay. Come on. There we go. Justice. I want to see. Does this count as a plunging attack? Okay, well. This is ultimately a pretty subjective question. Because like I said, partially to be annoying, I do consider Portuguese and Spanish to be dialects of each other. Or Portuguese to be a Spanish dialect. They are more similar to each other than either are to any other Romance language. The weirdest thing about languages is that the language of Romansh is not a Romance language. Which is crazy. We have to stay out of the way of that. So her burst does not count as plunging attack tag damage. It's actually a bit of a surprise to me. Yeah, the big thing is that each of these local legends, these are optional super bosses, they have very meager, just nominal rewards. They exist as challenges only, really. But they've got 3 achievements each versus just beating them. Second is beating them with some condition. The third is beating them with usually some ridiculous condition, like not taking damage or not taking hits. As in, not taking hits meaning even if you've got a shield up, if you get hit at all, you fail. But, come on, come on. Come on, Bapika. The reason I call her Bapika is that one of the leaks initially was... One of the leaks of Varus' kit was in Russian, and it was in Cyrillic. So its representation of Varesa, with the same pronunciation of course, it looked a little like saying Bapika in English. What would you say about, well, just Southern American English versus, say, more standard American English, or British English versus American English in general, for that matter? Gotcha. Kidding, kidding. I'm not going to be that smug. But what would you say about that? I love your intellectual curiosity. Very healthy attitude to have. Okay. And don't we both know it? Okay. Let's break 4 more rocks, and then I'm free. I've imposed this condition on myself. I wouldn't, so I know, hardly any Japanese, and I've been studying it off and on for many years. After 10 years of active study and 18 years of just, you know, speaking it, most Japanese do not entirely know their own language. Because it is... Well, the written system was essentially retrofitted from Chinese onto it. Very famously, there is a Japanese collection of poetry called the Manyoshu, which is in Japanese, quote-unquote, but it uses a system. It's not kanji, which is Chinese characters used to represent concepts, wholesale concepts in Japanese. It's not katakana, and it's not hiragana. It's not syllabic. Well, it is syllabic, but in a weird kind of way. They essentially use the first syllable of a Chinese reading of a character to represent a Japanese mora, which is kind of like a syllable. Well, it is a syllable represented in speech. But they retrofitted Chinese characters onto their language in an even weirder, stranger, and dumber way than they ended up doing in the X. And that was the first piece of real written Japanese. Everything beforehand was just well-educated Japanese people speaking in and writing Chinese. Because that's how it was. And there are phonetics. There are general rules. They have exceptions. But most languages do, except for Romance languages and Chinese. Which is why Romance languages and Chinese are the best languages in the world. But I digress. There we go. See? No damage taken. Just plunge attacked 10 times. Okay. well, I've hit the 2.5 hour mark. I've collected all the materials that Varesa and Iansan have in the open world, so I think that will be the end of things for today. It's been fun, except for the part where there was no game audio for 1.5 hours and it was just me yapping. But I'm loud enough and the game usually quiet enough that I guess no one could tell, so that's okay. I just plunge whenever. Yeah, exactly. I'll see you around. Maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. Because I'm playing this game 3 more times this week. Adios. Love you all. Goodbye. Saturagan. Something like that. See ya.